long time coming, Warriors fans. We are here to finally answer your questions on a Q&A mailbag surrounding all the latest Warriors rumors this offseason. Will they get a center? Will Jonathan Kuminga be a part of this team? At the time of recording, we do not yet know the fate of Jonathan Kuminga and his future, but we're going to discuss that on the later part of today's show. We'll cover more overarching stuff that you guys asked about Golden State at the beginning of today's video. But before we get into all of it, make sure you turn your notifications on so you get alerted every single time we post a video, because this is going out on a Saturday, so not anticipating too much Warriors news to break, but if it does, we'll bring you guys a video. So you guys can get alerted via notification on your device when we post a video. All you guys got to do is next to the subscribe button, which, by the way, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Go down below, hit the bell icon next to it, and then set your notifications to all, so every time you post content here at Warriors Today, you get notified and you can see what's going on with your dubs. All right, let's get into this first question. Coming in from Raymond Kelly, he says, why are the Warriors not pursuing Walker Kessler? Now, look, man, we talked about potentially looking at a Walker Kessler trade last offseason when the Warriors were in pursuit of a guy like Lauri Markkanen. Now, trade talks never materialized or got deep enough to where Golden State was ever going to make a trade with the Utah Jazz because Warriors front office was really unwilling to part with some of the young talent on the roster. So nothing ever materialized there. And it doesn't seem at this point that the Utah Jazz really want to move Walker Kessler. With the price tag that they have set on him, I believe it's 2 first-round picks and a young contributing player. I'm not so sure that the Warriors will be able to kind of make that happen. So in short, like, it doesn't look like Walker Kessler just seems like the most cost-efficient target to go out there and get for Golden State if they have to give up massive assets in order to acquire him. As far as the fit goes for the Dubs, like, he would be awesome. Like, they need a true rim protecting center. He's not a guy who spaces the floor too much or anything like that, but he does the things you need a 7'2" player with a 7'7" wingspan or whatever he's got to do. Defend the rim, grab rebounds, hit the outlet man in transition. Like, that's what Walker Kessler does. He does it at a very high level. Unfortunately, it just doesn't look like he'll be doing that for the Golden State Warriors. Moving on to our next question from Young King, and he says, can we get rid of Joe Lacob? I had to include this one, man, because a lot of people, especially even on this mailbag post that we sent out on our YouTube community page, were calling for the heads of Steve Kerr. We're calling for the heads of Mike Dunleavy. But the real villain at the center of this story is Joe Lacob. Okay, the Warriors owner is the reason that they are not viewed as a top contender heading into these final couple seasons of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and now Jimmy Butler's career. Like, Joe Lacob wanted to go make the move for Kevin Durant and couldn't get it done. Mike Dunleavy did go get a superstar, former superstar level player in Jimmy Butler in order to make Golden State competitive this past season. Joe Lacob has been the one who has pounded the table on this 2-timeline approach. He was glazing James Wiseman for way too long, glazing Jonathan Kuminga for way too long. I mean, even Podziemski, he was calling him a future All-Star. Look, if Brandon Podziemski ever makes an All-Star team, I'll eat my words. I think he's a good young player. I think he's going to serve a nice role in this league for a lot of years. He's not an all-star level player and has not shown one flash of being an all-star level player to this point. So Joe Lacob has clearly just not a good talent evaluator or at least talent prospector when it comes to young players in this league, and the Warriors are suffering now because of it. They should have mortgaged all these picks in the lottery when they were selecting there in 2020 and in 2021 and got out there and got some big fish, long-term contending pieces for Golden State. They decided to go 2 timelines, and now Golden State has been playing in purgatory for the past few seasons. So I would love to get rid of Joe Lacob, but that would force him to sell one of the league's most highest valued teams. And what's the big reason for the Warriors being as highly valued as they are? No, not Joe Lacob and not his business decisions. It's number 30, Steph Curry, and Joe Lacob has done a disservice to him. Trapway666, I don't know if I should be scared by this or not, but he says, can we get a center? A center for the Dubs. I know, this is a really out there question. Nobody in the Golden State Warriors media space has ever been asked this before. I'm just playing with you, Trapway. Look, it is absolutely something we have to look at here. We can't sit here and just get killed on the interior time and time again. Now, are they going to get an all-star level center? There were some names that I was kind of floating around there that not necessarily all-star level guys, but guys in the realm like that mid-level to $20 million a year salaries that really could have helped Golden State reach the next level, like a Jakob Poeltl or something like that. He just got the bag from Toronto, so congrats to him. But I guess, Brook Lopez level players, like even a Walker Kessler is somebody I would have liked to target if, Danny Ainge wasn't on crack. But overall, man, like the Warriors and the center spot seem to be kind of focused on two things at this point. And again, at the time of recording, Golden State is still yet to make a move this offseason. They're being patient. Apparently, Mike Dunleavy has things planned out. Who knows if he executes on all of them, but there is a plan in place. And that plan, to me, kind of consists of, as far as the center position goes, Al Horford, who, again, we don't know if he has been signed yet, but the presumption across the league is that he will end up with Golden State or end up retiring. And then Quinton Post, the second-year center, who's drafted with the 52nd overall pick back in 2024, who down the stretch of the season got his contract converted to a standard one, started a bunch of games for Golden State after making the Butler trade, and really came into the league with no lack of confidence whatsoever. He was launching the threes like no other. Like he had the green light from Steve Kerr basically as soon as he was inserted into this rotation, and he's taking that in stride. There are some things he has to work on defensively and scoring around the rim, but he is a player who Golden State and their front office seem to be putting a lot of faith in as a big part of this rotation heading into next season. Hopefully, heading into year 2, gets a full offseason of work with the Dubs and improves upon the things he needs to improve upon, because there aren't a lot of starting level centers out there right now that Golden State could go and acquire via free agency or trade. It seems like they're focused on Horford and the development of Quinton Post down the line. Ooh. Vladimir says, why not fire Kerr? Okay. I know, I just kind of alluded to it. People are, barking down the tree that Steve Kerr should be fired. Like, guys, it's wasted breath at this point. And whether or not Steve Kerr is the best coach for the Golden State Warriors, and by the way, I don't know many other coaches in this league that could rein in Draymond even as much as Steve Kerr is able to. And the offensive system that he employs around Steph Curry, like, why would you want another coach on this roster? I know that we've heard in all the clips. Eric Pascal got on that podcast a couple days ago, and he was like, it's so hard to play with Steph. If I see an open shot, I'm going to take it. Or they're making me pass it up. Yeah, because you're playing with a top 10 player that ever stepped foot on God's green earth. So how about you just swallow your pride for a little bit and win basketball games? Like, look, I understand it's not the easiest situation to play in for all the players in the world, but at the end of the day, it's conducive to what Golden State needs to do to win, and that's running Steph around the perimeter and finding pockets in the defense for him to launch threes. And then, the defense overplays the rest of the players out there on the court, and then they take advantage of those defensive lapses. Like, that's how Golden State scores. And unfortunately, they don't have enough players who can make that move when the defense is overplaying. So I think that is really what they need to focus on more than the coaching philosophy, is adding players in this league that can actually put the ball on the deck and go get you buckets when defenses are overcommitting to Steph. So I don't really believe that Steve Kerr is the issue. You could bark about his rotations all you want, but he's won 4 championships. Like, why are we even discussing this? And like I kind of mentioned, like, it's not going to happen. You're barking up the wrong tree here. I'm not making any basketball decisions with the Warriors, and the Warriors themselves are not firing Steve Kerr. But I just want to let you guys, ask you guys, what would you do if you had the choice? If you were Joe Lacob, Mike Dunleavy, whoever's making that decision to can or keep Steve Kerr, what would you do? F for fire, K for keep. You let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. We got a couple more questions to answer in just a moment, but make sure you guys get hooked up with this 2025 playoff tee that's literally like half off. And you can get it at this link right here, chatsports.com/win4bay. Look, I know the Warriors didn't win it all, but this season was still absolutely a success following the Butler trade. So I like to commemorate some different playoff runs. I mean, I can do it for the low at $18. I'm going to do it. So chatsports.com/win4bay to get the Warriors 2025 playoff shirt today with our friends over at Fanatics. We also get a commission here at Warriors Today when you guys use this link and make a purchase. So go down below, use it. It's in the comment section and description of today's video. You got smoked with a question in. Hey, how you doing, my brother? He says, are y'all looking to make a big trade for Giannis or anyone else? Look, Golden State, like, I'm sure, yeah, they probably would want to make a trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, but it's not all likely at this point. Giannis has given no indication to the Bucks that he wants out of Milwaukee, even before all these wild moves that they've been making in the offseason, stretching and waiving Damian Lillard and signing Miles Turner, bringing back Kevin Porter Jr., Bobby Portis, Gary Trent, like kind of running back the same squad. And I don't know why that they think that would work on Giannis. I guess it has to this point. It doesn't look like he's looking to leave Milwaukee, so they're not looking to move him whatsoever. Even if he was dying to get out of there, Milwaukee clearly does not want to trade him or give him up or let anybody else in the NBA let Antetokounmpo wear their jersey. So from the Warriors' point of view, I'm sure they would love to make a trade for Giannis or another big fish out there. And they have the opportunity, they have the sort of assets to be able to do so. Like, could they swing a LeBron deal potentially if that comes to light? Like, they have the draft capital, they have some big enough contracts, especially like if you really, really wanted to swap LeBron for Jimmy, you could. And obviously, sending Jimmy up to Milwaukee as well would work for Giannis. I think you have to include a little bit more, but it's far-fetched. Warriors, like, even if Giannis was on the block, like, Golden State's assets really don't match up with probably what 3/4 of the league could send up to Milwaukee. So Giannis to Golden State is really just forever will be, I think, a pipe dream. Young West 79, my guy. What's going on, Young West? He says, #Warriors, realistically, how much a year do you think Kuminga is worth? So one more time, I want to make it abundantly clear to you guys that Kuminga has yet to make a decision, and the Warriors have yet to make a decision or find a trade partner potentially on Jonathan Kuminga. How much do I think that he is worth? You're asking me. It's different than maybe you're asking a lot of people. I'm not fond of Jonathan Kuminga's game. I don't think that he's conducive to winning, not only in Golden State, but really in a lot of situations as well. I think he'd be best suited to go play whatever you want ball up in Brooklyn or Charlotte. But I guess Charlotte's kind of changing the culture down there a little bit. There's some bad teams like the Pelicans. Like, there's some bad teams around the league, Kings. Like, there's some bad teams around the league that Kuminga could do wonders for. Could put up a bunch of box score stats. But if you ask me, I'm not paying him more than $20 million. I'm not. There's no reason that you should want to pay Jonathan Kuminga more than $20 million. If I had the choice, I'd probably go even down to $50 million if I was going to keep him long term. But if you have him at $20 million, that becomes like a little bit of a movable contract. You can actually get some decent assets back, sending $20 million plus away. So I wouldn't pay him any more than $20 million, and paying him anything less than that would probably just not be advantageous to the Warriors potentially wanting to move him down the line. So $20 million a season, a 3 for 60 is something that I would propose. There's a rumor that that's what the Warriors' offer is to Kuminga at this point. He is not signing that whatsoever. So we'll see how this all shakes out. Who knows? It could all be done by the time you guys see this video, but I think he's worth no more, no less, $20 million in the perspective of the Warriors. But that will do it for today's edition of Warriors Today by Chat Sports. Lock us in and hit that subscribe button for all the latest Warriors news and rumors all offseason long. We'll see you guys in the next one, and as always, let's go Dubs.